Throughout history, power has often come at a terrible price. Some queens ruled not with grace, but with ruthless ambition, forging their legacies in blood and fear. Tonight, we journey into the shadowed corridors of the past to uncover the reigns of 5 women who seized power and held it with an iron grip. These are not fairy tales but chronicles of survival, dominance, and sacrifice, where the crown was paid for by the lives of others. From England to China, Madagascar to France and Spain, we reveal the most ruthless queens to ever wear the crown. Their methods were brutal, their names infamous, and their legacies unforgettable. Join us as we unveil the 5 most ruthless queens in history. In 16th century England, Mary I ascended the throne determined to restore Catholicism at any cost. Her father's break from Rome had left the nation divided, and Mary saw herself as a savior, charged with purging heresy. The Heresy Acts revived ancient laws, making denial of Catholic doctrine punishable by burning at the stake. Leaders of the Protestant movement, like John Rogers and Thomas Cranmer, were among the first to die. Their executions meant to terrify dissenters. But the flames spread beyond the clergy. Ordinary men and women were dragged before inquisitors for owning English Bibles or refusing Mass. Hundreds chose martyrdom over recanting, their deaths a public spectacle in places like Smithfield, London. The burnings became routine, leaving a scar on the English psyche. Mary's reign was marked by paranoia and personal tragedy. Her phantom pregnancies and unpopular marriage to Philip II of Spain deepened her isolation. Neighbors informed on neighbors, fear and suspicion tore the nation apart. Nearly 300 people were burned in just 5 years, a number small in scale but immense in psychological impact. Instead of crushing Protestantism, Mary's cruelty created martyrs and fueled resistance. Her legacy was not a restored Catholic England, but a nation traumatized by terror. Mary died childless and unloved, her name forever linked to the fire she lit. The title Bloody Mary became a permanent stain on her crown. Her reign stands as a warning faith, when wielded as a weapon, can destroy more than it saves. The flame she kindled could not extinguish the beliefs she sought to erase. In the end, her iron will only strengthened the resolve of those she tried to silence. Mary's story is a stark reminder of the cost of religious zealotry. Her rule was brief, but its horrors echoed for generations. The shadow of Bloody Mary lingers still. In the Tang dynasty's glittering court, Wu Zetian rose from concubine to China's only female emperor. Her ascent was ruthless, outmaneuvering rivals, orchestrating purges, and ruling through her ailing husband and puppet sons. In 690 AD, she seized the throne, founding her own Zhou dynasty. Her reign brought stability, merit-based promotion, and support for the arts and Buddhism. Wu Zetian shattered tradition, remade an empire, and proved a woman could rule as ruthlessly as any man. She remains the only woman to ever sit on China's dragon throne. On Madagascar, Queen Ranavalona I's 33-year reign became a byword for terror and isolation. Rising from commoner to queen, she seized power after her husband's death, purging rivals and rejecting all foreign influence. Her coronation speech was a chilling promise. She would rule with absolute authority, worshipping only the ancestral gods. Ranavalona expelled missionaries, outlawed Christianity, and unleashed a brutal persecution. Executions ranged from being thrown off cliffs to boiling alive. The infamous Tangena ordeal, a deadly poison trial, became her tool for rooting out Christians, political enemies, and suspected witches. Survival was a matter of chance. Tens of thousands died, entire villages decimated. Accusation alone was a death sentence, and no one was safe. Foreigners lived in constant fear. A failed Anglo-French invasion ended with beheadings and heads displayed on pikes. Ranavalona enforced isolation with forced labor, conscripting her people for massive projects under brutal conditions. The population may have been halved by purges, poison, and exhaustion. She saw herself as the fierce guardian of tradition, but her reign nearly destroyed her people. Madagascar became a hermit kingdom, sealed off and steeped in blood. Ranavalona's paranoia and cruelty left a legacy of devastation. Her name became synonymous with madness and absolute power. She ruled over a kingdom of ghosts, her people decimated by her own hand. Ranavalona's reign is a stark warning of what happens when fear becomes the only law. Her isolationist vision turned paradise into a nightmare. The world remembers her as the queen who ruled through terror. Her legacy is one of destruction, not preservation. Ranavalona, the mad queen of Madagascar. Her shadow haunts the island still. In 16th century France, Catherine de' Medici mastered the deadly game of power during the Wars of Religion. An Italian outsider, she became queen and then regent, determined to secure the Valois dynasty for her sons. France was a powder keg, Catholics and Huguenots locked in brutal civil war. Catherine tried to broker peace, but when compromise failed, she turned to manipulation and violence. Her most infamous act, the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre of 1572. What began as a targeted assassination of Huguenot leaders spiraled into days of mob violence. Paris ran red with blood. Tens of thousands died as the massacre spread across France. Catherine's role remains debated. Did she order the slaughter or simply lose control? Either way, she set the events in motion. She justified the massacre as necessary to save the crown, showing no remorse. For Europe's Protestants, she became the Serpent of Italy, a symbol of Machiavellian evil. The massacre shattered hopes for religious reconciliation and plunged France into deeper chaos. Catherine was not a sadist, but a pragmatist, her morality always subordinate to dynastic survival. She ruled from the shadows, using spies, marriages, and festivals to manipulate the court. Her legacy is forever stained by the blood of St. Bartholomew's Day. Catherine's cunning kept her sons on the throne, but at a terrible cost. She proved that a queen could be as ruthless as any king. Her reign is a lesson in the dangers of power wielded without conscience. Catherine de' Medici, survivor, schemer, and architect of one of history's darkest massacres. Her story is a chilling reminder of the price of the crown. In the end, her ambition plunged France into darkness. The Serpent of Italy's shadow lingers over French history. Catherine's name is forever linked to blood and betrayal. Isabella I of Castile forged modern Spain through war, faith, and unyielding ambition. Her marriage to Ferdinand united Christian kingdoms, setting the stage for the Reconquista's final act. Isabella led from the front, inspiring her troops as Granada fell in 1492, ending centuries of Muslim rule. But victory brought tragedy for Spain's Jews and Muslims. The Alhambra decree forced Jews to convert or flee, shattering a community that had flourished for centuries. Those who stayed faced suspicion and persecution. Those who left endured perilous exile. To enforce religious unity, Isabella established the Spanish Inquisition, a tool of terror wielded by the crown. Accusations were secret, trials rigged, and torture routine. The auto da fe became a public spectacle of fear, with heretics burned alive as a warning to all. Isabella saw the Inquisition as a necessary defense of faith, blind to the suffering it caused. Her policies created a climate of fear and intolerance that would haunt Spain for generations. Yet she was also a visionary, patron of Columbus, architect of a unified nation. Isabella's legacy is a contradiction nation builder and religious fanatic. She believed the suffering of a few was justified for the salvation of many. But her quest for purity left scars that never healed. The fires of the Inquisition and the tears of the exiled are her true monuments. Isabella's reign shaped the world, but at a terrible human cost. She was the Catholic queen, revered and reviled in equal measure. Her iron will forged a nation, but her intolerance destroyed countless lives. Isabella's story is a warning. Unity achieved through fear breeds only more fear. Her shadow stretches across centuries of Spanish history. The crown she wore was heavy with the weight of suffering. From Smithfield's pyres to the tribunals of Spain, from China's purges to Madagascar's cliffs and Paris's blood-soaked streets, these queens' legacies are written in fear. They wielded absolute power with terrifying resolve, leaving behind complex, haunting legacies. Their stories reveal the darkness that can fester behind a royal title. These women were not simply monsters, but products of violent times, survivors who surpassed even the most ruthless kings. Their reigns remind us absolute power can cast the darkest shadows. For those who lived under them, the crown was not glory, but terror.